which have plummeted. £7.6 billion black hole it's described as. It sounds like you're trying to make the argument both ways, that you don't want austerity, but that would lead to more tax and cuts.
Well, I mean, I don't accept the premise of your question there. Having more fiscal and financial powers in the hands of the Scottish Parliament is all about enabling us to grow our economy faster. If you look ahead over the next few years, even without us having more power to grow our economy faster, yes, oil revenues are projected, if things stay as they are with the oil price, to decline by £3 billion by the end of the decade. Our onshore revenues, our non-oil revenues, are projected to increase by £15 billion, 5 times the decline in oil revenues, and that's without having the powers to grow our economy faster. So having more responsibility is about giving ourselves the ability to have stronger economic growth, to create more jobs and to grow our revenues. But to bring this argument back to the here and now, the debate at this election is about whether we want parties, Tories, Labour or Liberals, that are proposing more cuts next year and the year after and the year after that, or whether we want MPs in the House of Commons who are arguing an alternative to austerity. And the SNP is arguing that we can get the deficit down, but more responsibly at a slower pace, so that we can invest in growing our economy, we can invest more in our National Health Service and other public services, and we can lift people out of poverty.
I want to talk to you about the impact that an SNP grouping could have in Westminster, because you have spoken about your red lines. Politicians are saying that, Nick Clegg's saying it today, you know, the SNP could hold the Labour Party to ransom with the sort of red lines that you're talking about, Trident, for instance, if you were to be part of some sort of a deal in Westminster. Isn't the fact, though, that the Labour Party would not lead SNP support to get Trident through, Trident renewal? So when you talk about the potential clout that the SNP could have in Westminster, maybe it's been a bit over-egged.
Well, it's for the voters to decide who they want to have clout in the House of Commons. My argument is, if there are a big group of SNP MPs in the House of Commons, then firstly Scotland's voice is heard and Scotland's interests are protected. We're there to fight Scotland's corner, but also that the SNP can be part of building progressive alliances with others for real progressive change that will benefit people across the UK. And, you know, on the issue of Trident, our position is very clear. There's a shadow minister of Ed Miliband's quoted in the Scottish media today saying that under no circumstances would he vote for the renewal of Trident. So, you know, if there is a minority government situation in the House of Commons after the election, and remember the SNP has been a minority government in Scotland, we would work to build those kinds of alliances to get the progressive change that we think is necessary. And of course, that's much better for Scotland than being in the position we've been in all too often in the past at Westminster, where the big Westminster parties ignore Scotland and sideline Scotland's interests, and our voice is not heard. We can change that at this election by sending SNP MPs to the House of Commons to make sure that Scotland's voice is heard, but we speak up and use that voice to argue for progressive politics.
Nicola Sturgeon, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, later today we'll